Have you ever looked over the fence and wondered why your neighbor's garden looks like a lush jungle, while yours is just barely surviving? Today, we are talking about tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. I am going to reveal the exact secret to making them grow like absolutely crazy. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will have a simple, almost free solution that will double your harvest. But let me start with a controversial statement. Those expensive neon blue chemical fertilizers you buy at the garden center are actually slowly destroying your soil. Yes, you heard me right. They might give a quick boost, but they kill the natural life in the dirt. So, what is the real, hidden truth to explosive vegetable growth? Are you ready to find out the secret the big fertilizer companies do not want you to know? Let me know in the comments right now. Do you buy chemical fertilizers or do you make your own? Let us dive in. Before we get to the magic recipe, we need to understand the background of these specific plants. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers all belong to a group of plants that gardeners call heavy feeders. This means they are incredibly hungry. Historically, our ancestors did not have perfectly packaged plant food. They relied on the natural cycle of decay and soil biology to feed their crops. They understood that the secret was not feeding the plant directly, but feeding the soil. Over the last 50 years, we have forgotten this wisdom. We started treating soil like a dead sponge that just holds roots. But true gardening magic happens when we wake up the microscopic life underground. When you understand this historical shift, you realize why modern gardens often fail despite our best efforts. Now, let us break down exactly how to bring that magic back to your backyard. Let us start by looking at the root of the problem. Why do plants stunt and stop growing in the middle of summer? It all comes down to soil depletion. When you plant a hungry tomato or pepper, it quickly eats up all the readily available nutrients in the immediate area around its roots. Imagine a teenager emptying a refrigerator in just 2 days. That is exactly what your cucumber plant is doing to your garden bed. Once the food is gone, the plant stops growing. The leaves might turn pale yellow, and the flowers simply drop off without forming any vegetables. It is a heartbreaking sight. A huge myth in gardening is that a wilting, yellowing plant just needs more water. But drowning a starving plant will not save it. It actually makes things worse by washing away whatever tiny bit of food is left. We need to replenish that food supply fast, but in a way the plant can actually digest. We need a biological trigger. So, what actually is this magic ingredient I have been talking about? It is a potent biological activator made from ordinary baker's yeast and wood ash. Yes, the same yeast you use to bake bread in your kitchen. When you introduce active yeast to the soil, it completely transforms the environment. The yeast fungi start eating organic matter in the dirt, breaking it down at lightning speed. As they do this, they release massive amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and vital amino acids directly to the plant roots. It is like pre-chewing the food for your plants. A great example is watching bread dough rise. That explosive expansion is exactly what happens to the root system of your vegetables. They multiply, expand, and push deep into the earth. And the wood ash? It provides a massive dose of potassium and calcium, which are the building blocks of strong stems and big fruits. Together, they create an unstoppable growth machine. Now let us focus on why cucumbers specifically go crazy for this mixture. Cucumbers are vines that grow incredibly fast, and their fruits are composed of about 95% water. To support this rapid cell division and water uptake, they need an enormous, healthy root system. The yeast mixture stimulates root branching better than almost anything else on Earth. When you apply this secret feed, the cucumber plant stops focusing all its energy on survival and shifts into massive production mode. You will literally see the vines climb the trellis overnight. The leaves will turn a deep, dark green. One of the biggest problems with cucumbers is that they produce male flowers but drop the female flowers, leaving you with no cucumbers. This happens due to stress and lack of trace minerals. The wood ash in our mixture eliminates this stress, ensuring every single female blossom turns into a crisp, juicy cucumber. It is truly amazing to watch. Moving on to the tomato transformation. Tomatoes have a very different set of needs. They are prone to a terrible condition called blossom end rot, where the bottom of the tomato turns black and mushy. This is not a disease, but a severe calcium deficiency. The wood ash in our secret recipe is loaded with readily available calcium. When the yeast breaks down the ash, it rushes that calcium straight up the vascular system of the tomato plant. It builds thick, impenetrable cell walls. You will notice the stems of your tomatoes becoming as thick as small tree trunks. There is a common myth that aggressive pruning is the only way to get giant tomatoes. While pruning helps with airflow, it means nothing if the plant is starving. With this natural superfeed, even unpruned tomatoes will pump out massive, flawless fruits. The potassium makes them sweeter, redder, and incredibly heavy. You will need extra stakes just to hold them up. Now let us talk about pumping up those peppers. Bell peppers and chili peppers can be the most stubborn plants in the entire garden. You can plant them in May, and they might just sit there, not growing an inch, for 4 weeks. They demand heat, but they also demand a very specific microbial life in the soil to unlock locked-up phosphorus. Without phosphorus, a pepper plant simply will not flower. Our yeast and ash mixture creates an explosion of beneficial bacteria that acts like a key, unlocking the phosphorus trapped in your dirt. Think of it like giving your pepper plants a warm, nutrient-rich blanket. I have seen a stunted, sad-looking pepper plant double in size in just 10 days after one application. The roots become so robust that the plant can suddenly survive unexpected cold snaps or extreme heat waves without dropping its blossoms. It builds ultimate resilience. All right, it is time to reveal the exact recipe so you can make this at home. You will need a large 10-liter bucket. Fill it with warm water, not hot, not cold, but warm, like bath water. Hot water will kill the yeast, and cold water will not wake it up. Add 10 grams of dry baker's yeast to the water. Now, here is a crucial step. You must add 3 tablespoons of regular white sugar. Why sugar? Because the yeast needs immediate energy to wake up and start multiplying. The sugar acts as a starter fuel. Finally, take 2 cups of pure wood ash. Make sure it is from natural wood, not charcoal briquettes full of chemicals. Stir this ash into the water. The water will turn a murky gray color. This exact proportion of 10 liters of water, 10 grams of yeast, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 cups of ash is the golden ratio. It is perfectly balanced to provide maximum growth without burning the tender roots of your vegetables. The next step is the brewing process. You cannot just mix this and pour it on your garden immediately. You are dealing with living organisms, and they need time to work. Place your bucket in a warm, sunny spot. Cover it lightly with a cloth to keep bugs out, but allow air to flow. You are waiting for the magic of fermentation to happen. After a few hours, you will start to see a thick layer of foam developing on the surface of the water. You will hear a faint fizzing sound, and it will smell a bit like a brewery or a bakery. This is the visual proof that the microbes are multiplying by the billions. You need to let this mixture brew for exactly 24 hours. Give it a gentle stir with a wooden stick every few hours if you can. If you let it sit for too long, say 3 or 4 days, the yeast will consume all the sugar, die off, and the mixture will spoil. 24 hours is the absolute sweet spot for maximum biological power. Now that your magic brew is ready, we must talk about the proper application method. This mixture is a concentrate. It is way too powerful to use pure. You must dilute it. The golden rule is 1 part of your brewed mixture to 10 parts of clean, fresh water. So take 1 liter of your yeast brew and mix it into a standard 10-liter watering can filled with water. Now head out to your garden. A major myth is that spraying fertilizer on the leaves is always better. That is completely wrong for this recipe. You must never pour this on the leaves of your tomatoes or cucumbers. It will cause severe fungal diseases. You must apply it directly to the root zone. Pour exactly 1 liter of the diluted mixture onto the soil around the base of each plant. Imagine a circle around the plant where the furthest leaves reach. That is the drip line. Pour it gently along that circle so the tiny feeder roots can absorb it instantly. Timing is absolutely everything when it comes to feeding your garden. If you do this at the wrong time of day, you can actually harm your plants. Never, ever fertilize in the middle of the day under a blazing hot sun. The plant is already stressed, its pores are closed, and the hot soil will cause the liquid to evaporate before the roots can drink it. The absolute best time to apply this yeast and ash mixture is late in the evening, just as the sun is going down. The soil is cooling off, and the plant is preparing to rest and absorb nutrients all night long. Alternatively, very early in the morning works too. Another critical rule is to never apply this to bone-dry soil. Always give your garden a light watering with plain water first. This acts like a sponge, allowing the fertilizer to spread evenly through the dirt rather than just running off the cracked surface. Apply this magic feed exactly once every 2 weeks. No more, no less. Finally, we must discuss common mistakes to avoid. The biggest mistake enthusiastic gardeners make is thinking that if a little is good, a lot must be better. Overfeeding is dangerous. If you use this mixture every 3 days, you will cause a massive buildup of yeast in the soil. This will actually make the soil too acidic and cause nutrient lockout. The plant will literally starve while sitting in a puddle of food. The leaves will start curling inward, and you will see ugly brown spots appearing on the edges. If you notice these warning signs of overfeeding, stop immediately. Flush the soil with plenty of plain, clean water for a week to wash out the excess. Gardening requires patience. Stick strictly to the schedule of once every 14 days. If you follow this rule, the plant will use up the burst of nutrients perfectly, grow massive new vines, and prepare itself for the next feeding. Consistency is your best friend here. And there you have it, the ultimate secret to explosive growth. By simply combining warm water, yeast, sugar, and wood ash, you are creating a biological powerhouse. You are not just feeding your tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers, you are fundamentally changing the living ecosystem of your soil. The significance of this cannot be overstated. When you ditch the chemicals and embrace this natural fermentation process, your plants will reward you with harvests so heavy they will break the branches. It is a total game changer for any backyard gardener. The secret is out, and now it is in your hands. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me today. If you found this secret helpful, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and share this video with a fellow gardener. Now, I have a question for you to answer in the comments. What is the single biggest struggle you have faced when trying to grow tomatoes? Let us discuss it below, and I will see you in the next video.